Hi, and welcome back again to Tim Bigham's Options and Volatility newsletter. We'll be taking a look at a two-day trade, in essence, on Lithium America LAC, where implied volatility reverted as expected, maybe a little more quickly, especially since it was out in Jan. But we can take a look at the effect of that and why selling inflated vol, taking advantage of opportunities, is always a nice component. So here was the day we kind of sold the trade 2 days ago. You can see IV had ripped higher, right? We see that reversion, nowhere back to where it was before, but we just wait for a decent amount of reversion, which can certainly be profitable. Here you can see the reversion so far today. So I simply pulled off the stuff from just a little while ago today. Here is where the Jan straddle IV we sold 2 days ago was trading at a 150 IV. Today 122, because it kind of hit that first level of reversion. You can see here again that huge jump and then the reversion back, which sets up ideally for selling the straddle here and then covering here when it reverts. We're not going to wait around to squeeze out all of the potential profit because the price can move. The price has actually moved today. We'll take a look in a second at the cover, but certainly this kind of reversion, which is about 25 vol points or so, was enough to put us in a very nice profitable category. So here was the trade. Here was the original trade. Going back in time, we can see that the stock was at 601. That straddle was at 475. Anyone who wants to look, you can look at the previous video we put together there. IV was at 161. The delta at the time was minus 17, right? 41 on the put, 58 on the call. So we're selling a 58. We're selling a negative 41. So it'd be 17 deltas net short. Most importantly, selling that inflated IV that we looked at, right, where we saw that huge kind of pump and then dump, and as we expected. So we were able to sell it here, and then today you see the stock actually going up 74 cents, right? But the straddle came down in price kind of to that level where we modeled it. We'll take a look at that in a second, around the 125 IV, right? We saw the straddle come down in price 87 cents, which would be the profit on the trade in 2 days. Very nice indeed. That's because IV reverted sharply, right, from that one kind of 60-ish level back to 125, right? The delta, even with the stock going up, remained the same at negative 17 delta, right? So IV came down, but the delta went nowhere, right? Because of that offsetting effect of the drop in IV. So you'd expect with the delta of negative 17 over the course of the 2 days and the stock up 74 cents, right? You'd expect a small loss out of the trade of about 12 or 13 cents. Instead, that straddle gained 87 cents, as we said, right? Selling it back here at that 475 level, covering it here right around 388. So the vol capture, in other words, how much you made by being able to sell that inflated vol and buying it back when it reverted, almost $1. We can jump over and take a look at our kind of modeling. So we can see here was from the previous video as well, with the straddle at 475, which is where we said to sell it 2 days ago. IV, as we said, around 160. The delta at negative 17. And we put the model on it, right, with a 125 IV, right? We expected the straddle to be around 382, actually 388. We expected that was with the stock unchanged. The stock went up a little bit, so it crept up slightly, but very close, and the modeling came out very well indeed. So this highlights again how taking advantage of perceived opportunities when you get these huge jumps in implied volatility based on unusual option activity, play for the reversion, position size accordingly, do it in a somewhat neutral fashion like we did, and then just wait for the reversion and take it off. This one took 2 days. Most of them probably not quite as quick, some even quicker, but certainly shows and highlights the advantage of this kind of approach. So until next time, as always, here's the good trading. Take care.